Hi, my name is Brenda Lormel Raymond, oncology nurse practitioner, founder and lead consultant for VDI, a healthcare consulting company. In the United States, breast cancer remains a major concern, impacting countless lives. Breast cancer is the second leading cause of death among women, claiming thousands of lives each year. Black women are particularly affected. Today, we want to emphasize the importance of mammogram exams. Breast cancer affects millions of women nationwide, but early detection can save lives. A mammogram is a simple, non invasive procedure that can detect abnormalities in the breasts before they can be felt. By scheduling regular mammograms, you're taking charge of your health and increasing the chances of early detection, which leads to better healthcare outcomes. We urge all women, especially those over the age of 40 years old, to prioritize getting their mammograms. It's a small investment of time that can have great impact on your health. Let's unite as a community to support and uplift all women in this battle.
Good afternoon, and thank you all for being here today. I'm General Scott Rice, the Emergency Assistance Director, charged with overseeing our emergency shelter operations for the Healey-Driscoll Administration and ensuring the safety and well-being of families in Massachusetts. I bring to this position a great deal of experience leading large-scale organizations and emergency response operations. I've worked for over 30 years in Massachusetts and bring my values and all I've learned to bear on this situation, which is responsiveness, transparency, and a deep commitment to the people of this state. In my new role leading this critical mission, I have been engaged with members of the Governor's Incident Command Team, shelter providers, and local officials to get a sense of what their experience and the support they need and how effectively manage this increasing demand and how to effectively manage this increasing demand on our shelter system. I know that communication and partnerships are key in these moments, which is why I am here today. As you know, Massachusetts is in a new phase of this challenge. We do not have enough shelter space, service providers, or funding to continue to safely expand beyond 7,500 families. We expect to reach that limit on Wednesday or Thursday. As of this morning, we are at 7,439 families living in emergency shelters across the state. A reminder of who these families are. They are families and expecting moms. More than half of them are children, and they are here lawfully with the knowledge and consent of the federal government. I want to provide a couple of updates as we prepare to meet this moment. First, we are activating more National Guard members to provide basic services at emergency shelter locations. We have been so grateful to the dedicated men and women of the National Guard who have stepped up to help us ensure that every family in emergency shelter has their needs met, including access to food, transportation, medical care, and education. Before today, the Guard had authorized a total of 300 members to assist at hotel sites across the state and at Joint Base Cape Cod. We're raising that number to 375, and the increase will help provide further assistance at hotel sites along with our legal clinic scheduled for next week to connect people to work opportunities. And in order to make sure everyone in our shelter has access to this work authorization clinic, we're going to expand these services beyond next week to schedule another clinic the week of November 27th after Thanksgiving. Second, the governor has stressed the critical need for speeding up workforce authorizations to help migrants support their families and exit the shelter system. Shelter residents want to work. Our businesses want to employ them. I'm glad to report that Labor and Workforce Development Secretary Lauren Jones and her team at MassHire have made great progress in this front. In the last few weeks, nearly 300 people in our shelter system have enrolled in MassHire and participated in work readiness services and workshops. Many have already been connected with employers. MassHire has also identified companies with dozens of open job orders that can hire new arrivals and get them to work. I'll get into some examples to showcase some of these successes. MassHire North Central has set up a tour of Catania Oils, a food oil plant in Air, in hopes to hire work-authorized individuals. MassHire North Central also worked with Mount Wachusett Community College to set up new ESL classes, and more than 30 shelter residents attended. MassHire on the North Shore recently held career workshops for over 120 people. On the South Shore, MassHire connected people to employment at Dunkin' Donuts, Market Baskets, Walmarts, and Cisco food distributors. The MassHire Franklin, Hampshire Career Center placed employees at Yankee Candle and Cooley Dickinson Hospital in Northampton. As more people are assessed and achieve work authorizations, MassHire will connect them with employers looking for hiring skilled labor or enrolling them in ESOL and other training programs. In our partnerships with Commonwealth Corporation Foundation, individuals who are pending work authorizations will be matched with businesses to offer on-the-job training experiences. Our incredible Massachusetts employers, if you're interested in working with us and can hire or train individuals with limited English, please contact them at this email address, lwdbusinessinfo@mass.gov. That's lwdbusinessinfo@mass.gov. Third, our teams are also prepared to support families who may end up on the waiting list in a variety of ways. Family Welcome Centers in Alston and Quincy will continue to offer services including providing hot meals, diapers, warm clothes, masks, and hygiene kits. Working with families on a case-by-case basis to determine safe housing alternatives. Making plans to host evening and weekend events offering services like dental screening, religious services, English courses, and more. Connecting them with other community-based services and behavioral health supporters. I want to personally thank our Family Welcome Centers, nonprofit organizations, and all those volunteers who have stepped up in this time of great need. We could not do this without them and all of us working together. The Governor's Executive Office of Health and Human Services, led by Secretary Walsh, will also continue to work to connect homeless families with immediate support. That work includes helping them access food assistance programs, mental health resources, including training for frontline staff, and DPH will be issuing new guidance for hospitals working with families experiencing homelessness. And lastly, we know the winter is coming, and we share deeply the concern about families being left out in the cold. That's why I'm here to announce new steps we're taking to ensure safety and well-being of families. With a critical need for a safety net on the top of our mind, we are announcing that we are partnering with the United Way of Massachusetts Bay to provide $5 million to create a program with grant funding for community-based organizations, faith-based groups, and community partners to operationalize short-term overnight shelter for families with no alternative option. In fact, we have Bob Giannino, who's CEO of the United Way, here with us today as part of the program. The program will be administered by the United Way and will provide eligible families and pregnant individuals on the wait list without a safe sleeping arrangement. Once the grant application is up later this week, we hope that community-based organizations will take deep advantage of this financial assistance available to them to offer temporary shelter for our shelter system. And of course, as the state puts these new supports in place, we continue to ask the federal government to act to address the federal issues, to include the need for large-scale overflow sites for families. In closing, my top priority first and foremost will always be the safety and well-being of families and the people of Massachusetts, and all of us together to meet this challenge of working on this situation in the future. I now open it up for questions.
Generous as though we're spending $45 million a month to help stand up this emergency shelter crisis. How far is $5 million going to go?
When working with the United Way, I think it will go a long way. It will, be implemented by the United Way, and it will be focused on helping individuals for short term.
So when you say go a long way, are you talking weeks?
I don't know, and so as we develop the program, we'll get into that more, and we can get back to you.
Where is that $5 million coming from? Is the fund already seeded with $5 million, and who's providing that money? Is it state dollars?
This is federal dollars that we're using.
From what fund or?
That is just, as far as I know, it's a federal program that we've moved money into this to help with this with United Way for the grants.
General, when the cap is hit, that number ticks to 7,500, and your next family arrives, is there a script that's being given to providers besides you're gonna go on a wait list?
Yes, there's information we'll give them about what the community partners are doing, the United Way, program that we're implementing, and details like that. And then the immediate need too of supplies that they need, as I talked about, things like food and diapers and whatnot.
And since, this program is just being rolled out and this cap can be hit as soon as tomorrow, where are those people going to go in the, right away, as soon as they arrive for housing?
Well, we're providing them with, a list of opportunities, advocacy groups, and in particular, back to the United Way and how they're working with the, community partners to implement this program.
But in connection, you're connected to this problem, so you see it most closely. You probably are best to answer the question, what will these people end up doing? Will they be would they likely be on the street? Would they likely be in unsafe situations that would be considered? Where will these people go from your experience?
So we have a number of community partners that are really stepping up at this time to join with us, that this is not just a state problem for state funding and state program. It's all of us together are getting after this, and I see.
So are you saying someone's going to be able to help them, or whether they're on the waiting list?
We will put them on the waiting list for our system, and then they will be getting help from our community partners, to include, the program.
But you said they wouldn't even be up till at earliest, the end of the week, that money would be offered to places. They'd have to then set it up. There's obviously going to be days when that's not going to be here yet.
Well,
so
we do have.
From your experience, where will these people be?
We have a number of community partners that are stepping up now in the short term, and as we move into the United Way program.
But General, we've seen people have to take up shelter at Logan. We've seen people take up shelter in emergency rooms. Is that what's going to happen now, realistically?
Frankly, what I'm thinking and I'm hoping and I'm looking towards is we have positive indication that we have a lot of community partners that will help us with this.
That have the capacity to help?
Yes.
Last question.
How many overflow sites are you expecting will be created through this grant program, and is the state separately setting up mass overflow sites?
I say that question again.
How many overflow sites are you expected that will be created through this grant program, and is the state separately setting up overflow sites?
I don't know how many, and that frankly is up to the United Way. And I defer to the United Way as they find partners, and it takes both sides. The community steps up and asks United Way for, to help with a grant. So that's the moving part. So I really appreciate it, and I thank you very much. That was the last question.
Generally mention what the partnership is.
Oh, hang on.
Yes, so we're working with the Commonwealth to identify organizations, nonprofit organizations and providers that will step up and create short-term safety net shelter opportunities for families that are on the wait list and waiting for more permanent, longer-term shelter to open up.
When will this be activated?
As soon as the resources are made available, we will begin the process of reaching out and finding providers later this week and into the weekend.
So the
they going to be
state
in
has had,
hotels?
obviously, the state has had a difficult time finding enough shelter providers to this point. Is there anybody left that can help staff these? Is there any space left?
There are, and we've already begun to discuss and source potential partners as this program has been coming together. It's certainly going to be a heavy lift in order to do that, but we have full faith that the nonprofit community, including faith-based organizations, homelessness and housing providers, and others can be called upon to step up
And
in
the
this
$5
time.
million, how far will that go realistically? We're hearing, it doesn't go very far.
I think this is, I can't speak for the Commonwealth in terms of additional resources that will come forth, but we believe that this will be an important early start to building a robust amount of short-term shelter needs in order to get us into the beginning of the winter, and then we'll discuss and see what the longer-term needs are.
Where are these folks going to be housed? Are they going to be put in hotels, motels? Where will these people be housed with your grants?
That is yet to be determined, and it will really be up to the different providers that we partner with in terms of their ability to access and secure space for this.
What are going to be the standards to make sure that these places are safe to live in?
We've already begun to work through the contracting process with the Commonwealth to identify sites that are safe, that are lead-free, that provide the appropriate amount of security, et cetera. So we're working on that, and we're going to select providers based on their ability to secure safe and stable locations.
How much
for
is the
families.
coming weather driving your concern here? How much is the coming cold weather?
I think that's a concern that's being driven by everyone to get something in place as soon as possible as the colder temperatures arrive.
Do you have a rough estimate of how many families do you think this could ultimately help put in an overflow?
We don't have an estimate of that at this point.
Not even
We're working on
dozens versus
days.
hundreds, or?
No, I don't think our hope is that it would get us closer to thousands, but we're literally days into crafting this work, and so we're confident that we're going to be able to put up some locations in order to work on the transitional needs that our families and migrants have.
All right,
Thank you very much, everyone.
Hi, my name is Brenda Lormel Raymond, oncology nurse practitioner, founder and lead consultant for VDI, a healthcare consulting company. In the United States, breast cancer remains a major concern, impacting countless lives. Breast cancer is the second leading cause of death among women, claiming thousands of lives each year. Black women are particularly affected. Today, we want to emphasize the importance of mammogram exams. Breast cancer affects millions of women nationwide, but early detection can save lives. A mammogram is a simple, non-invasive procedure that can detect abnormalities in the breasts before they can be felt. By scheduling regular mammograms, you're taking charge of your health and increasing the chances of early detection, which leads to better healthcare outcomes. We urge all women, especially those over the age of 40 years old, to prioritize getting their mammograms. It's a small investment of time that can have great impact on your health. Let's unite as a community to support and uplift all women in this battle.